Shalom, Israel, with the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana, and we're not affiliated with any other Israelite group or any other Christian organization. So tonight's class is the Lashawan Qadash class. Very, very important class to attend. Salaki. Salaki. Salaki about that. Make sure you put your name, city, and state into the live chat. Don't forget to sign in and check in, all right? And put your name, city, and state, all right? And so the first thing we're going to go over is the alphabet. So we're going to do a recap. We're going to go over everything that we've been over so far. All right. And we're going to get some practice with what are the fundamentals of the language. All right. Like fundamentals is everything when it comes to learning the Lashawan Qadash. All right. Fundamentals is everything. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right. So like it. But now remember, fundamentals is absolutely everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. Just like in any other language, when it comes to learning and practicing a language, you always want to know the fundamentals. What's the fundamentals? That's like the alphabet. What's the fundamentals? That's like your grammar. Like these are fundamental things that you have to learn with every language. And particularly in the Hebrew language, the Lashawan Qadash, you understand? The fundamentals is important because the way our language is, let me just go further in detail. The alphabet itself is fundamentals. So because the alphabet is fundamental, our language in particular, our alphabet is going to help you pronounce the words within our language. Now you're probably like, well, isn't that any kind of language? Well, no, because our characters have a distinct sound. Our language is a consonant language, and that means, and like, and what that means is our language has a similar sound. All right, our language doesn't make different sounds. Now, of course, that may sound a little foreign, right? That may sound just a little bit foreign. Let me see. Let me see how this go right here. 1 second. So that may sound a little foreign, but let me explain in detail. Like the English language, all right? The English language, when you put their alphabet is their alphabet. But when you put words, when you put letters next to certain letters, you get different sounds. Well, when you put letters next to different letters in the Hebrew, you get the same sound. Nothing changes. All right. Nothing is going to be a surprise. Nothing's going to sound different. Like that's the cool part about our language. Like that's the most interesting part about our language. You understand? All right. So let's get to it. 1 second. Shalom. I see you, Trooper Most High in Christ in class. And so now, so the first letter we're going to deal with was I. Just like about that. So you guys, I. All right. So this is what your I looks like in the Hebrew. This is your Ba. This is your Ba in the Syrian. This is your Ba in the ancient. Now remember, let's keep in mind, right? We have to keep this in mind, right? Knowing the Hebrew is important. This is your culture. This is your history. You want to know Hebrew. You understand? Like remember, back in the day, all right, I shouldn't say back in the day, but during the times of Nehemiah, when he saw brothers and sisters not being able to speak the Lashawan Qadash, being able to speak the Hebrew, he fought them and whooped their tail. And he went to war with them. Like it was such a shame to not know your language. Most cultures and most nationalities and most races on this earth, they have their own language. Well, guess what? If you're so called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you have your own language. You have a language that you can finally call yours, and it's the Hebrew language. It's the Lashawan Qadash. So this is your Ba in the Syrian. This is your Ba in the ancient. This is your God in the Assyrian. This is your God in the ancient. You can't be called an Israelite if you don't know Hebrew. You understand? If you want to be a Hebrew, if you want to be an Israelite, you have to know Hebrew. You understand? Like imagine being Chinese, but you don't know how to speak the Chinese language. Isn't that weird? Wouldn't you find that weird if someone is Chinese but they don't know how to speak the Chinese language? Wouldn't it be weird if you go up to a Chinese person and they couldn't tell you their history and they couldn't tell you their culture and they can't speak the language of their forefathers, of their people, of their ancestors? Wouldn't that be weird? Imagine going up to an East Indian and an East Indian did not know how to speak the language of the East Indians. That would be weird to you, wouldn't it? Imagine you've seen an East Indian woman without a red dot on her head. That would be weird, wouldn't like, man, why does she have the red dot like everybody else? Why are they not why don't they have that accent like everybody else? Why why how do you not know the language? Why are you wearing that? East Indians don't wear that. Why are you it would look weird, right? It would sound weird. Well, it's weird if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and you call yourself an Israelite, and you don't know the Hebrew language. That's weird. You understand? That's very weird. So how about you stop being weird, come to class, and learn how to speak this Hebrew? All right. So you got the Assyrian, then you got the guy, all right, in the ancient. The guy in the Assyrian, the guy in the ancient. This is your Da in the Assyrian, and you have your Da in the ancient. You got your Ha in the Assyrian, and you got your Ha in the ancient. You got your Wa in the Assyrian, and you got your Wa in the ancient. You got your Za in the Assyrian, and you got your Za in the ancient. You got your Cha in the Assyrian, and you got your Cha in the ancient. You got your Ta in the Assyrian, and you got your Ta in the ancient. You got your Ya in the Assyrian, and you got your Ya in the ancient. You got your Ka in the Assyrian, and you got your Ka in the ancient. You got your La in the Assyrian, then you got your La in the ancient. Remember, you always want to take notes. All right, get in the spirit of the Lord and take notes. All right, it's spiritual to take notes. If you give a damn about anything, you would take notes. If you want to know something and remember something, you would take notes. All right, anything you want to know and remember, you would write it down somewhere. You would find a way to remember it and memorize it forever because this is something that matters. All right, this is your Ma and the Assyrian the ancient. So of course you would do things that would matter to you. You would write things down that matter to you. You understand? Everybody gets that concept, right? Now, if this doesn't matter to you, then okay, fine. So be it. Enjoy being an Israelite. Enjoy being a Jew that doesn't know how to speak the language. And one day you're going to get made fun of because you're an Israelite and you don't know how to speak the Hebrew. Don't get made fun of. Learn how to speak the Hebrew. You understand? This is your Na in Assyrian and ancient. This is your Sa in the Syrian, and in the ancient. This is your I in the Syrian, and the ancient. This is your Pa in the Syrian, and the ancient. This is your Taza. This is your Taza in the Syrian, your Taza in the ancient. This is your Kwa. This is your Kwa in the Syrian. This is your Kwa in the ancient. This is your Ra. This is your Ra in the Assyrian. This is your Ra in the ancient. This is your Shah in the Assyrian. This is your Shah in the ancient. Then you have your Tha. This is your Tha in the Assyrian. And this is your Tha in the ancient. Your Tha. Your Tha. So like this is your Tha in the Assyrian and your Tha in the ancient. So now remember, if we keep in mind grammar is something very important. All right, grammar is everything. When it comes to learning the Hebrew, when it comes to learning the language, grammar is absolutely everything. And so now when you want to once you get well enough and well versed in the language, here are a few things you kind of want to focus on, all right? You kind of want to focus on grammar in small words. And these are small words we're going to go over, recap with possessive pronouns, and then we're going to get into somewhat of a new lesson of things of we're gonna label it Hebrew prefixes. All right. And once we go over it, all right, you'll have it down pat. So a recap on possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are pronouns that show ownership. All right. That's a language. All right. That's a part of a language. That's a part of structuring sentences. That's a part of sentence structure. Is knowing how to okay, learning possessive pronouns are going to allow you to create basic sentences like my car, your car, his car, her car, their car, our car, whatever the case may be, their house, our house, her house, his house, whatever the case may be. Like this is, you know, this is like basic sentences. That's a sentence, but possessive pronouns help you create basic sentences. Then eventually, once you get better and more fluent in the Hebrew, you're going to start structuring sentences grammatically correct by using the future, the present, and the past tense. All right. So let's focus on this. So you got possessive pronouns. This is your ya, which is my. So ya is my. You got your ka. Your ka is your. Your ka is your. Your wa. Your wa is his. Your ha is hers. Your Noah is our. Your Noah is our. Your com is y'all, or like you all, or you plural, but referring to y'all, like y'all car, y'all house, y'all, y'all, like it. So com, like you all right? Then you have is your con. Then you have is your con. Your con. That's you all or you plural but in the feminine. You all but in the feminine, con. Then you have is ma, which is their, like that's their car, their store, their house, their clothes, their shirt, their pants, whatever the case may be. Ma. So this is in the masculine tense. All right, in the masculine tense. Then you have is na for their. This is in the feminine tense. All right, na their in the feminine tense. This is feminine. So this would be referring to like a sister, of course, or in certain cases it could be referring to the nation of Israel because if the Lord is talking to us or about us, he would be talking to us in the feminine tense, or we call it the subservient tense. So you have there, all right? Don't forget to put your name, city, and state. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, all right? And then we have object pronouns. Same thing like your possessive pronouns. Same thing. This is your yeah, but this is me. You got your ka, which is you. You got your wa, which is him. You got your ha, which is her. This is Noah. This is Noah or Noah, which is us. You have com for y'all or you all or you plural. Now remember, focus on that red two at the bottom. Object pronouns will always be at the end of a verb. Remember that. We're going to go over the basics. We're always gonna go with fundamentals of grammar before classes. All right, we're gonna have to. It's something that we can't forget. All right. Then you have your con. It's in the feminine tense. And you got your ma. You got your ma, which means them. Shalom, Cap, Yahweh Shashab Kata. So you have your ma, which is them. You have your na. You have your na, which is them, but in the feminine tense. All right, na, which is them, in the feminine tense. All right. So now let's get into the lesson. So today we're going to go over Hebrew prefixes. Now Hebrew prefixes, all right? So you have suffixes and you have Hebrew prefixes, okay? And they all play a very important role, all right? A very, very important role. Now here's the reason why they play such an important role. Also, don't forget to sign in, check in, put your name, city, and state too as well. So why does it play a very important role, Hebrew prefixes? Because you're going to see certain letters, all right, in front of words that you're going to recognize, and they mean something. Okay, they mean something and they play a very important role. All right. So the biggest thing when it comes to learning and reading the Hebrew is knowing root words. So for an example, if we go to Blue Letter Bible, let's go to my favorite scripture. Let's go to well, I shouldn't say my favorite scripture. I should say my favorite chapter when it comes to the Lashawan Qadash. We're going to go to Nehemiah. All right, that's Nehemiah. I want to go to chapter 13. I believe it's verse 25 to 26, or maybe even 24, give or take. Mostly give. All right. 24. Here we go. And so here we go. So let's start at 23. So when you go into the Blue Letter Bible, okay, let's see if they have any prefixes here. I believe they do. Let's find out. Yep, that's a prefix. Here we go. So now we're in Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 23. So it reads right here, you have gone by Yum Yum, Haham, Haham, perfect, Haham, Ra'ayafya, Af, Hayahawadyum, Slakia, yeah, Slakia, Af, Hayahawadayim. I believe that's for Jews. All right, Jews. Hawadayim. All right, coming. The root is Yahawadaya. Yahawadaya. Yahawada. Because Yahawada is how you would say Judah. All right. Yawahadaya. Yawahadaya is how you would say Jew. All right. That's how you would say Jew. But to pluralize it, you just put a ma at the end of it, and it will be Yahawaya. It's like it. Yahawadayim. All right. Yahawadayim. Yahawadayim. All right. Yahawadayim. Yahawadayim. All right. And you have Yashabyamwa. Ha Shayabwa. All right. Nashyam. All right. Ashdad Yawath. All right. Aiman. All right. It's like Mawa Abba Yawath. It's like it. Amawan Yawath. Amawan Yawath. And then you have Mawa Abba it's like Mawa Abba Yawath. All right. Right there, that's pluralizing. That's pluralizing Mawa Abba, Mawa Abaya, but referring to a nation in the feminine tense. All right. I'm not going to go too much in detail. Okay, maybe I should go into this a little bit of detail. Okay, so when I was reading right here, right? So to bring it down, right, you have Gam, Bayamyam, Haham, Ra'ayafya, Af, Hayahawadayam, Shayabwa, Nashyam, Ashdad Yawat. So when it says Ashdad Yawat, right? This is Ashdod in the Hebrew of Ashdod, right? And Ashdadya, all right? Ashdadya, all right? Ashdadya, right? Is just singular Ashdod, all right? Referring to the people. That's why that ya is there. If it would have been just Ashdod, it was referring to the nation. So to break that down, if it was just Ashdod itself, that's referring to just the nation or the land itself, right? But because it's Ashdadya, it's referring to the people of that nation, the people of that race. You'll notice that distinction. But if you look up here, you see Ashdod, okay, I don't know what that was about to do. Yeah, okay, I guess I'm just not going to be able to highlight it without it highlighting everything. All right, here we go. So then you have right here, Ashdad Yawaf. All right, Ashdad Yawaf. So why is that waf there? I don't know if you guys remember my classes back in, I wouldn't say back in the day, but not too long ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Maybe it wasn't pretty long. I want to say a year max, not 2 years. A year max. I went over what waf means at the end. Well, that is how you would pluralize words. All right. But that's how you would pluralize a word. All right. So when you put waf in front of something, all right, this is how you would pluralize it. All right. But it's saying your waf. All right. It's saying your waf because it's referring to the people as well. That yeah, as Ashdadia is the root word. Then that waf is pluralizing that word. It's like putting S at the end of it. So it's pluralizing these nation or race of people coming from Ashdod. So Ashdod Yawaf. All right, Ashdod Yawaf. Then you have Imawan Yawaf. Imawan Yawaf. All right, Imawan Yawaf. This is talking about Ammon. Amawan, right? Imawan is the people. It's like an Amawan is the nation itself. Imawan Ya, all right? Imawan Ya is referring to the people of that nation, but Imawan Yawaf is pluralizing that word, right? That waf at the end is pluralizing Ammon, which will be Ammonites, okay? Ammonites, all right? Or Ammonites, all right? You'll see probably this for Ammonites as well, all right? Depending on who's talking, depending on the tense as well. It just depends. Then you have Mawa'aba Yawaf. All right, Mawa'aba Yawaf. So Mawa'aba Ya. is talking about of Moab, the Moabites, all right, the people of Moab. Moab itself is just the people of Moab, or just Moab itself, like the land or the nation. But Moabiyah, all right, Moabiyah is referring to the people of Moab. But then you have Moabiyawaf right here. You have Moabiyawaf, that waf at the end of Moabiyah is pluralizing it. All right, it's pluralizing it. That's what it's doing. Okay. So now, because this is talking to a particular people, that's why when you read it in English, in those days also saw a lot of Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. So of Ashdod, talking about the people, so the Ashdod of the Ammonites, of Moabites. All right, that's what it's saying. It's referring to the people itself in a pluralized form. Ashdod, Ammon of Moab. But the reason why I brought this up is because of prefixes. So back to prefixes. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. All right. And so when we get down to it, right, you have this by yum. So in days. So you see that, you see how this is a separate word? You see how yawam is a separate word referring to day, by the way. That refers to day. But I don't know if you see this. All right. But this the root word is yum. That's why it says yum. All right. Yeah, it's like a yamayim. It's like it. I keep saying yum because I'm thinking of bun yum. All right, yamayim. All right, like you see how it says yawam. Well, this is yamayim. All right, yamayim. So by yamayim, referring to days. All right, days. All right, days. Actually, I think I was right the first time. So like a yum. I'm looking at it now. That wa, it would be yawam, yama, yum. Because yum is pluralizing it. There we go. Yeah. All right. Yum, meaning days. All right. But you see that ba right there? Well, that means something. Pay very close attention to that because that means something. All right. Here goes another one. See that ham? That ham is a word itself for those. But see that ha? That ha is a prefix. That ha is a prefix. A prefix meaning it comes in front. So it's pre, meaning it's in front. A suffix is at the end. So the prefix is in the beginning while the suffix is in the end. But you see that right there? Here's an example. So you want to know the root word. When it comes to reading the Hebrew, knowing the root word is most important. All right? That's why you want to practice reading. Blue Letter Bible, download it on your phone. Blue Letter Bible, download it on your phone so you can know it, study it, memorize it, remember. All right, Blue Letter Bible, so you can practice reading the Hebrew. This is the Assyrian script that is written in. So Gam, Bayamyam, Haham, Ra'ash, it's like it, Ra'ayashya, it's like it, Ra'ayathya, Ah, Hayawahada, it's like it, Hayawahawadam, Yum, it's like it, Yahawadayam. So Hayahawadayam. So you see that? You want to know, and I caught myself, Salakia. I was trying to speed through it, but Salakia. You see this Ha? That's a word in its own, right? It's separate from Yahawahadayam. So because it's separate from Yahawahadayam, all right, you kind of want to like slow it down a little, like Ha Yahawahadayam. Ha Yahawada. It's like it. Yahawahadayam. You can say Yahawahadayam, but it's better to say Yahawahadayam. So you know you're talking about the Jews, Yahawada, because Yahawada is Jew. In the Hebrew, Yahawada is referring to Jews or a Jew. It's like Yahawada is referring to the tribe of Judah. Yahawada is referring to Jews. All right, a Jew, I'm sorry, is referring to a Jew. Yahawada is referring to Jews. So I'll say that one more time. Yahawada is referring to Judah, the tribe of Judah itself. Yahweh is referring to a Jew. All right. Yahweh is referring to Jews, pluralized. All right. So Yahweh Ha. So Yahweh. Ha Shayabi. Yeshayabwa. All right. The root word is Salakia. Yashab, that Ha is grammar, and now Wa is grammar for the, I want to say the past tense. All right. Ha Shayabwa. Nashim. All right. And of course, I broke that down. So you see how important it is. So now let's get to it. So we're going to get the different prefixes. All right. So let's get the different prefixes. What do I want here? Let's get green. So you got your Yah. So your Yah equals he. So the reason why I'm bringing this up right here, because you see that Yah, your Yah equals he. But that Yah right there, all right, that Yah right there is he. Now, if you see a Yah in front of a verb, like let's say Yah Amar, or Yah Dabar, or Yah Shamar, right? That's a Yah in front of a word is more likely going to be used in conjunction with a verb, all right? In conjunction with verbs. And of course, depending on the context, all right, you want to know if it's saying he said or he watched or he looked, all right? There wouldn't be nothing else added to it, all right? Now, of course, to kind of break that down, sometimes that can also reference the past tense, all right? But we're not gonna get into that. But just know Yah is a prefix, all right, and it means he, all right. It means he, all right. It means he. So you got your ha. So your ha equals the. So your ya is he, used in conjunction with verbs. Then you have your ha, which is the. All right, the. Then you have your ba. There's another one, your ba. Your ba. I guess this is what I'm gonna do. I realize I'm gonna add the ancient to them too as well. So here you go. Now remember, this is a part of the fundamentals, all right? So you have ya, which is he. So you have your ya, which is he. And you have your ha, which is the. And you have your ba, which is in. And next we have is your wa, which is and. So now remember, these are prefixes, meaning they go in front of words. All right? They go in front of words. All right. Next we have is your ka or your ka. Now remember, these are prefixes. So far, so these are the most common prefixes you're going to see. All right, if everyone's paying attention. So Hebrew prefixes. All right, these are going to be the ones that you commonly see. All right, and so Hebrew prefixes play important roles because they're not necessarily a part of the they're not a part of the root word. So which means you're going to have to study a bunch of words, right? You're going to have to study. You're going to have to study words so you can know root words. Because as long as you know the root word, you're going to be able to learn Hebrew. Root words is everything in Hebrew. We have so many prefixes and suffixes and so many letters that represent grammar. You have to know the root word. All right. That's why I'm throwing fundamentals at you. That's why I'm throwing all of these things at you so we can master the fundamentals, so we can master the basics. Because if you don't understand the basics and you don't understand the fundamentals, then going to the Bible and reading this on the, you know, on a high holy day is going to be absolutely difficult to you. Because this is what you're going to be reading on high holy days. This is what you're going to be reading on Sabbath services, and that's going to totally confuse you. You're going to be lost. You're not going to know what to do, what to say, how to read it because you're not in class. Plain and simple like that. You're not in class, and whatever the reason it may be, but you're not in class. So that's going to be tough. All right, that's going to be tough. So for next example, you think bayam yum is one word. Bayam, right? Bayam yum, it's like it. Bayamayam, all right? You think you think that's one word. Bayam yum. Well, it's not, right? The ba is completely separate from the yum yum, meaning days pluralized. It's a preposition, meaning it's a prefix. You see? It's something that comes before a word. All right. So now let's get it. You have your ya, which is he. See, I wrote the ya in the Assyrian, all right? And I wrote the ya in the ancient. Then you have Yaha, which is sa. Remember, these are prefixes. Remember, these are prefixes. And you have your ba, which is in, like in something. All right. And let's add one more. and now we have shawl. All right. So starting from the top, you have ya, which is he, and you have ha, which is the. You have ba, which is in. All right. You have wa, which is and. All right. Then you have la. You have la, which is to or for. You have ka, which is like or as. Shaw, meaning who, which cause or sake. So you would put shaw, which cause, like which cause death. Shaw mawat, something like that. Shaw mawat, which caused death. So shaw mawat meaning death. Shaw meaning which cause of death. Shaw mawat, or sake of death. Shaw mawat. Uh, who, in a sense of which cause or sake. All right. I gotta add one more in there. So I'm gonna put this next to, since I can make it small enough. I gotta add one more in there. We got one more, then we're gonna do a recap. Wow. All right. So here we go. So you have ya, which is he, used in conjunction with verbs. All right. Then you have yaha, which is the. Yaha, which is the in the Hebrew. And you have yaba, which is in. All right. Wa, which is and. La, meaning to or for. Ka, meaning like or as. Shal, meaning who, which, cause, sake. And then you have ma, meaning from. So for an example, if you want to say, I'm from, let's say, Jerusalem, which is Yerushalayim in Hebrew, you would say ma Yerushalayim, meaning from Jerusalem. So if someone says where you're from, you can say ma Yerushalayim, from Jerusalem, or from Israel, ma Yashala, from Israel. All right. Sometimes ma can also letting you know that if it's coming from a word itself. All right. And we'll get into that. That's another lesson within itself, which is a part of Hebrew grammar. All right. Remember, grammar is important. All right. Mm-mm-mm. Kind of good question. So me not ma. Okay, explain the question when you say me not ma. Explain that. Me not ma. Let me see. So lock here. The water for the catch. The water. I think I put me instead of ma there, brother Salaki. The water for that. Good catch. Someone's paying attention in class. Someone's paying attention to class. The water. There we go. All right, it's fixed. The water. The water for that. The water. There we go. The water for that. Ma meaning from. So like it. There's no vowels in the Hebrew. Don't set me up and take me to counsel. Salakia. There are no vowels in the Hebrew. Salakia. So ya, all right, ya is he, ha is the, ba is in, wa is and, la meaning two or four, ka is like or as, shall meaning who, which, cause, or sake, ma meaning from. I think I was saying ma too, but I wrote me. Salaki about that. Salaki. But the water for that. So now when we go back here, all right, you see this? That's a prefix. Ba meaning in. All right, see that prefix? Ha. Ha-ham. You put it together, ha-ham. Right? Ham usually means them, but ha-ham together, the and them together meaning those. Here you go. That ha meaning the. Let's see. Let's try 24. There we go. See that wa? Meaning and. It's a preposition, it's a prefix. You always use it in conjunction. All right. That wa right there. So you see that? All right. Waban yaham. All right. So waban yaham. All right. Khatazaya. All right. Khatazaya. Meaning have. All right. Madabar. Now here we go. See that dabar? That's the root word, but madabar meaning spake. All right. Madabar meaning spake. That ma as a prefix is more so for, how can I say it? I want to say it's the past tense. Yeah, it's the past tense. All right. Ashdadiya. There's that wa right there. You see that wa? Meaning and. Ma kayaryum. All right. Ma kayar. All right. Ma kayaryum. Meaning could. So you see how Nakar has his own, let's see. So Nakar itself, Nakar, Nakar, Nakar. All right. And if we go back real quick. So when we go back, you see how it says Makar, Makayar. That ma right there is letting you know something. All right. Pay attention to those prefixes. The water, Khan. So now, Lord in Christ. So let's pay attention to that. All right. You want to pay attention to those prefixes. Right. Makayaryum. All right. That ma is letting you know. All right. It's being conjugated, right, in the past tense. Okay. Now, sometimes a ma in front of a word will let you know that this word stems from something. So let's say we just said ma nakar. That word may not mean how nakar is normally used, but it does come from the word nakar. So that's why it's called ma nakar. All right. But eventually, over time, you guys will learn the difference. All right. See that right there? La dabar. Here we go. See that la meaning two? That's a prefix. That's a prefix. It's a Hebrew preposition. A preposition meaning prefix, in front, beginning. All right. La dabar. You see the root word is dabar. That's why it's important to pay attention to root words. You want to know all these things. Like that's why we're going over grammar. That's why we're going over the fundamentals. All of these things right here put together play a very important part when it comes to reading and understanding the language. All right. Simple like this. All right. Yahweh Dayah. All right. Yahweh Dayah. And that's in the Jews' language. All right. Yahweh Dayah. Literally, in the Jews' language or in Hebrew, Yahweh Dayah. All right. Don't worry about this right here. Don't know what the hell that is. In the Jews' language, in Hebrew. All right. Literally, that's what Yahweh Dayah means. In the Jews' language, not Jewish language, but in the Jews' language in Hebrew. Literally, that's exactly the meaning of that word in Hebrew. All right, Yahweh Dayah. So you want to say in the Jews' language, speak in the Jews' language, Yahweh Dayah. All right, which is just saying Hebrew. Like to say the Hebrew language in Hebrew, you would say Yahweh Dayah. We say there's different ways to say it. We say Lashawan Qadash, meaning holy tongue. All right. All right. A lot of people think to say the Hebrew language is Ibariath because Ibariath means Hebrew. Not in the context of language though. Ibariath does mean Hebrew, but Ibariath is the race of Hebrew. All right. Technically speaking, Hebrew is the race. So Ibariath is referring to nation or nationality or race. Yahweh Dayath is referring to the Hebrew language. Does everybody understand that? All right. Did anybody know that? Ibariath is Hebrew, but referring to nation. Now, slang, you can use it for the language, but Ibariath is referring to like someone's nation, all right, which is Hebrew. Like Abraham, if you go look up Abram or Abraham, he was a Hebrew, and the word would say Ibariath, all right, Ibariath, all right, because he was a Hebrew by nationality, all right, by nationality, by race, all right, and you can also use it, okay, all right, referring to the Hebrew language, but technically to Yahweh Dayat, right? It's like Ibariyat, Yahweh Dayat is referring to the nation's language, all right? The nation's language. And so you can use both, but Yahweh Dayat and Ibariyat, you can use both. But Ibariyat is more so for Hebrew nation than the race of Hebrew itself, than the language. Then Yahweh Dayat is for the Jews nation, the nationality of being a Jew, and then his language. Did that last part make more sense now to kind of sum it up? Let me know if that last part kind of made sense to pretty much sum it all up. So, Ibarya first is the Hebrew nation or the race, then the language. And Yahweh Dayat is referring to the Jews itself, and then its language. All right. You can use both referring to the Hebrew language. All right. You can use both. But Yahweh Dayat would be ideal. Yahweh Dayat would be ideal, right? Because literally the definition is just Jewish language. There is no there is no confusion there. Ibariyah, there's no confusion there either. But that would be more so for slang if you want to say Hebrew first language. All right, everybody get it? Let me know. Let me know if y'all understood that part. All right. So let's recap it. All right. So Yah is he, Ha is the, Ba is in, Y is and, La meaning two or four, Ka meaning like or as, Shal meaning who, which cause sake, and Ma meaning from. Everybody understands? Kana la Let me know. Kana, most high in Christ. All right, so with that, I say Shalom Israel with the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the command Journey Yohana. All right, remember the next high holy day is the Day of Atonement, October 4th, a 1 day fast. Don't forget about that 24-hour fast. All right, don't forget about that. October 4th. All right, with that, Shalom.